All right, good afternoon. This is Mark Kralovich from Grandpa's Cabin Life on both Instagram and YouTube. Again, going to give you a little tour of the property. We're up here on this late February day. It's actually gorgeous. It's probably just about 40 degrees. A couple inches of snow on the ground, nothing too terrible. Again, one of the last times, or the first time I was up here at the property and walked it, was in snowshoes because they had just gotten a storm with about 3 feet of snow. So up here now, just checking on the property. You can see our driveway with the gate, with the posted signs, which are one of the key things you want to do as soon as you buy property, from a legal perspective, just to make sure that in the case somebody gets on your property and gets injured, you can show that it was clearly posted. So we're at the end of the driveway. We're looking down the road. And down where that road dips is where the creek is, and right at that bridge is the end of my property, and there's going to be a little sun glare, so my apologies. If we're going up the other way, property goes up just over the rise of that hill. So yeah, so it's a nice little chunk. It's 40 acres. As you could see, there really are no neighbors. It's all just wooded. Nearest neighbor heading that way is somewhere up the top of that hill that you can see in the distance, and on the other side, it's really the nearest neighbors are up over the top of that rise. So basically, we got a nice long driveway. Gives us a little bit of separation from the road and from people. We've got the gate up. You notice the posted signs are everywhere. Again, it's very important, especially when you have a property that you're not up there all the time, to make it very clear that it is private. The gate certainly helps that, so you're limiting the ability of vehicular traffic to get onto the property. We do, as you can see on both that tree and that tree at the gate, are set up with solar lights. They are very powerful. When anything pulls up, or even an animal comes in the line of those sensors, they get lit up pretty brightly. And you can see we have, just past the gate, we have one of the multitude of cameras that are on the property. Again, right now we don't have solid internet or 24/7 internet. So these cameras, which are the spy points, actually work off phone signal. So this one, any activity will take photos and transmit them to my phone, so I will know if anybody is up here. At the gate, there are cameras, again, all over the property, the spy points, around the clearing. So really, even though I don't have full-time internet, there is not any way that anybody is going to be on or around the property without me having some idea of it. Thankfully, I've only had to call the sheriff once for a pickup truck that was pulled right up to the gate at about 11 o'clock at night. If you know the area, really there's no traffic that is not local. So that to me was a little concerning. Reached out to the sheriff's office. They were fantastic. They were out here within 10 minutes. Walked the property, checked everything out. Everything was secure. The vehicle was gone. So no, I still have no idea what that was about. Coming up on the clearing, so you can see my shed. That became the second home once that arrived. I had my little cot and a little kitchen set up in there, so reasonably comfortable, provided it wasn't terribly chilly. There is the ranch model cabin from Lancaster Log Homes. You can see the fire pit, and this is just the clearing that was there. So the clearly delineated snow clearing, or that's covered with snow, that was here. It was not graded. It was not cleared. That whole area behind the stump in the cabin was just probably about 2 or 3 feet higher. A lot of stumps left from when the original owners cleared the area. They just sold the timber, but left the stumps. So we had to get somebody in here to really grade it, get rid of the stumps, clear it out. This is just in the summertime. I tend to plant wildflowers here, although it does get overgrown with just normal flora that is normal to the area. But the wildflowers actually give it a nice appearance. You can see piled up in the back there are some of the stumps that got moved from the other side of the property. We're just leaving them there. Makes the rabbits happy. So if the rabbits are happy, that's a little something for me to hunt in the fall. So we're gonna let that be. You can see the frame for the outfitter tent. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as the weather gets nicer and we get the tent set up. I'll take you on a tour of that and we'll talk more about that. The cabin, as I talked about in the previous video that I posted earlier, we're going to do a complete tour of that once the weather gets nicer and we're up here. And we'll talk way more in depth about how I found Lancaster Log Cabin, the visit out to their plant to see how they manufacture. So again, that'll be a whole video unto itself. But you can see past the truck, that little snow-covered bump is, well, not the little one covered with the tarp, but the big one behind it. That is the backstop for our little shooting berm. Again, that's going to be worked on pretty extensively this spring, and we will video that and have some content as we're fixing that up, as well as doing some placement of French drains and some other drainage projects on the property. So again, on the other side of the shooting berm is the trail that basically runs the length of the property. It was the remnants of a logging trail that goes all the way back to the end of this property and the beginning of state game land. What we'll do is, when the weather gets nicer, we'll do a full walkthrough of the property so you can see it in its glory. As you can see just by looking around, mostly hardwood, a smattering of pines. There are some aspens as you get down closer towards where the beaver pond is. So we'll take a look at all those things. We'll include you in the projects as we're getting them done. Again, still some gravel and things here from the projects from last summer and fall. I do need to get another truckload of gravel for when we're doing the French drains and we're putting those in. So that I will actually have to make the call probably in the next month or so to get that up here to coincide with when my buddy and I are up with his Kubota, the septic system, as you can see. And again, the Lancaster Log Cabin, this particular model did have the loft. Does add some more space for generally sleeping, but it's not a bad spot to store things as well if that's what you're so inclined and don't need the sleeping space. The shed, I've got both doors open because I was running the ATV. Actually surprised that the battery was not dead because of the cold, but worked fine. So yeah, a lot going on. Glad to be able to get up here to give you a little bit of a wintertime snowy view. And we will talk more as projects get going. Again, the video excerpt of Chapter 2 from the book will be out on the 25th of February. It's about a 15-minute video on establishing your wish list. So yeah, we're looking forward to sharing everything that goes on the property with you. If you get a chance, check out A Cabin in 40 Acres everywhere where books are sold. Currently available in both softcover and ebook, which should be about, I think, the next week or two. They're telling me it should be available. And additionally, if you're watching the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, share it. If you're so inclined, when a new video, hit notification, so we'll let you know when something new pops up. All right, well, thanks for taking a couple minutes to share a little bit of a walking tour of the property, and we'll talk to you soon.